change normally. So as I said, you find yourself that you eat a lot of water, you urinate a lot. Please go to a next to you, go to any hospital beside you, go to any lab beside you, and tell them you want to check your sugar level. And if your sugar level is high, please report GOTO so that you can easily be treated, and so that we can once and for all.
Millions of people with diabetes facing daily challenges managing their condition at work and school. Diabetes care often focuses only on blood sugar, overwhelmed. Let's join hands in raising awareness, spreading knowledge, and creating lasting change for
voice to be heard. Do you know that you matter? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens, as we discuss the biggest stories that affect with you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social, economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and tough topics, and amplifying your voice. People's Voice, Mondays, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count.
The name is Dr. Silva.
Another exciting episode of the Issues on Voice of the People TV, where we bring you the most important and pressing issues shaping our nation today. I am your host, Jerry Apelahai, and tonight we will be diving deep into very major development in Nigerian politics. Of course, stick with us as we analyze these critical issues with our expert panel, and this is a conversation you won't want to miss. We begin the show today proper, where Senator NATASHA has accused Senate President Godswill AKPABIO, Kogi State Governor Usman Ododo, and former Governor Yahaya Bello of being responsible for any violence during her upcoming homecoming rally, which she plans to hold despite police orders to cancel it. She also criticized that the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) for allegedly aiding petitioners in a questionable recall process against her, highlighting the group behind the recall officially registered. In a speech, she urged her supporters to remain united and resilient against political oppression, particularly advocating for women's rights in challenging environments. Away from that, where suspended Rivers State Governor Siminalayi has called for patience among his supporters amid ongoing political turmoil, warning against any actions that could destabilize the state. He reassured the public of his commitment to peace while receiving support from a delegation of Muslim women who affirmed his legitimacy and prayed for his leadership during this challenging time. The crisis stems from a rift with his predecessor Wike, leading to impeachment attempts and a state of emergency declared by President Bola Tinubu in March 2025 due to escalating unrest and pipeline explosion. And still more, where Nigeria faces significant energy challenges with years of reliance on imported refined products and non-operational state-owned refineries until recently. Since the removal of fuel subsidies in May 2023, petrol prices have quadrupled, exacerbating the difficulties for citizens dependent on petrol for transportation and power generation. We can tell you for free that the Dangote refinery, which began operations in December 2023, aims to ramp up production capacity to 650,000 barrels per day, but the current pricing conflicts suggest ongoing instability in the petroleum market. After this short break, we'll dig deeper into these topics and more. Don't go away. Welcome back. Let's dive straight into today's discussion. Alright, we started off with Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, who is accused Senate President Godswill Akpabio, Kogi Governor Usman Ododo, and former Governor Yaya Bello of being responsible for any violence that may occur during the upcoming homecoming rally in Kogi Central. Despite a police directive to cancel the event, she remains determined to celebrate either victory with a constituent and assert that the ruling party's attempts to suppress her political will not deter her. And during a recent gathering, Akpoti-Uduaghan also raised concerns about the Independent National Electoral Commission, alleging that it is colluding with petitioners to facilitate her recall from office. She claimed the recall petition lacked proper information initially, allegedly assisted in providing the necessary details, raising questions about its legitimacy. Furthermore, she pointed out that the group behind the recall is not officially registered. In her address, Akpoti-Uduaghan reflected on the challenges women face in politics and society, emphasizing her commitment to fighting for women's rights and encouraging her supporters to stand firm against oppression. She expressed gratitude for the support and called for unity to resist the negative forces attempting to undermine her position and the interests of the people. And of course, a video surfaced online where she was addressing her constituents and of course declaring that she is a bona fide Ebira woman and will not be deterred by her detractors, and of course showing that that rally actually went on, and you could see that she has an overwhelming support from the Kogi Central constituents who still believe in her, who still want her to represent them. And of course, this sends a statement to even the governor and those who are against her. Let's take a listen from the woman, I beg your pardon, herself, talking about Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. All right, and of course, the women sounding so confident, they're saying nobody can stop her from coming home to meet her people. And of course, that rally already shows that she has the overwhelming support of her constituent Kogi Central. And of course, so the much interest of all the opposition will take up this. All right, today I'm delighted to be joined by two esteemed guests. We have Mr. Peter Anoski. Mr. Anoski is a philosopher, development economist, and best-selling author. He is also an erudite commentator on economy, finance, politics, and power. To have you join us.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, also joining us virtually is Prince Nixon Ndubuisi Okwara. Okwara, beg is a public affairs analyst. Prince Nixon is also a political strategist, certified security and risk management expert, and real developer. It's good to have you join us on the issues this evening. All right, to understand that Prince Nixon is not here with us. Of course, also the chairman of Igbo stakeholders in Lagos. He was a member of the defunct APC Presidential Advisory Council and a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Management and Consultants in Nigeria. And we'll be able to get him. Let me start with Mr. Anosike. He's a philosopher, and of course, well versed in that. Taking a look at what you've seen so far with NATASHA'S latest movement, is that a declaration of overwhelming support from the people of Kogi?
Well, it simply showed that whatever document that INEC has is fake. It shows that the woman is in full control of her constituency. She come from the same constituency with Yahaya, and the woman won when Yahaya Bello was a sitting. So, which means she has more control of her constituency than the governor. So, whatever INEC, whatever this that they have, so if you minus this number, where did the INEC get their 250,000 people? So it simply shows that those names, those signatures did not come from Kogi Central. And I read the process of in the National Assembly. It is almost an impossibility. It is almost an impossibility. Yeah, Yahaya Bello did everything to recon Dino. It couldn't work because the process is not easy. They did it in such a way that it will favor them, those of them in the National Assembly. Since 1999 to date, no senator, no House of Reps member has record. So if this one works, it means that INEC is culpable. If this one works, because this video has told us that the woman has an overwhelming support in her constituency, that Kogi Central Zone is solidly behind her because of all the cushion that's by the state, by the police and everything, that nobody should turn up, that there should be no rally or anything. People still turned out to support her. So there's no other way of expressing it. INEC should quietly fold that document and put it in the dot bin.
Let's take a look at the rally ban and the issues of curfew and so forth. This used to be the modus operandi of military eras. Have we seen a situation where the ruling party has become a more like an authoritarian system of government where there's no room for opposition and the use of military style to any form of opposition? We've seen in River State now, it's even happening in Kogi. What's next?
Well, I've already said that. I said that democracy died in March 18th in Nigeria. It died March 18, 2025. So from then onwards, we are no more practicing the democracy. What we see now is death of the democracy. Because there's no reason for the ban. There's no reason for the curfew. This is just to intimidate, to harass a woman. Because of it, you want to inconvenience a whole senatorial zone. And the woman even beat them to their stupid game. The woman beat them to their stupid game. They were waiting for her convoy, and she came with a helicopter, showing that she's far more intelligent than them. Understand me? Imagine when Ododo was campaigning, he couldn't make any single correct sentence. Ododo couldn't make one single correct sentence. And these are the people that are becoming governors, senators in the country. And I say, if Yahado is an example of youth being in governance, let 100-year-old people begin to rule this country, because he is a disappointment. He is a disappointment. Upon all that Yahaya Bello did to stop this woman, she beat Yahaya Bello as a governor in his own senatorial zone.
And taking a look at INEC being complicit, being compromised, what does this say about the electoral body? In spite of the fact that Nigerians have been asking for an umpire like the electoral body, should be talking about independence, to be self-reliant.
No, it cannot be. It cannot be. Who appoints you directs you. Who appoints you directs you. There are two ways that things are done in Nigeria. One is the highest bidder. Understand me? Two, how did I get into this office? These are the two things that rule this country. Who will pay more? How did I get into this office? So you cannot expect INEC to be independent, because they were appointed. Their loyalty is to those who appointed them.
So what's the solution? Because, for instance, if who appoints them is the ruling party, what is now the fate of the opposition? Because we've seen elections that have been done before. Why is INEC different from the INEC that was then in 1999 until 2023?
Well, things are getting messier in the country. Things are getting messier, and the mess in 2015 when APC find themselves in, because governance was not in their book. Governance was not in their book. They wanted just to restore power and rule for 16 years, because PDP has ruled for 16 years. So what we're having now is never democracy. Democracy is dead in this country.
All right, taking a look at NATASHA'S situation, how far can she take this battle against those in the Senate, the Senate President, and now it looks like the ex-governor and the current governor of the state are also in a case, and now it has been INEC. She's fighting on all fronts, and the case already in court and so on and so forth. How long can she drag this on?
Well, for me, they are more popular by the day, and showing that she's not a pushover, showing that she is not a pushover, and the world is watching, and she bad name to the government of this country on a daily basis. He's attracting international attention to the country on a daily basis.
All right, taking a look at ruling party. The ruling party normally has events and they go unchecked. Why does it look like it's a different situations want to have the rallies and the events? Because in a situation where the PDP will be having its rallies, having the rallies the following day. But what has changed? Tolerance for whoever is in opposition.
What change is delivered on your campaign promises? You become, you know that people are no more with you. That people are no more with you because you have failed on your campaign. The next step is to become an autocratic, to begin to against anybody and anything. That to make sure you remain to remain in office. You see, know that they have failed. They know that they don't even have capacity to even be in office. The only way they can remain is not being dictatorial, and that is what is happening.
How dangerous is it for democracy?
We are no more practicing democracy.
The fate of the common man who supposedly believes that Nigerians will make a decision. Because now we are talking about an anecdote of being complicit.
Not accused, they are complicit. They are corrupt. They have
that is complicit and compromising your words. And we're having opposition be silenced day in, day out. The opposition party every day. So what is now the fate of the common man, even if an election time comes?
The common man should come vote. The common man should out and vote. The only power that the common man has is his vote.
Is it a vote that is going to come?
Wait, when every common man comes, then the result will be too big next chairman to rig.
Number.
Excuse me. There's no way Nigerian masses will vote 10 million and the APC has 5 million and they will rig it. It's not possible. So when the election is too big to rig, the opposition will win. That's the importance of building a coalition.
All right. Do you think that number is going to be achieved? Looking at the apathy Nigerians already having, looking at the apathy Nigerians already have towards and our electoral process, are we going to achieve soon?
I have said that not to vote is not a protest, it is a surrender.
All right, let's go to our virtual guest. We have Prince Nixon Ndubisi Okwara, who is joining us for the first time. He's a political strategist, a certified security and risk management expert and real estate developer. It's great to have you join us on the issue. Yeah, I'm fine. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, we're just talking. Okay,
I said you guys are looking good this evening.
Oh.
The country is doing you very well.
No, it's just the cameras. Let's not be. let's just keep protocols and do the jobs. Then we will have to go by, and of course, you're also looking fresh too.
Thank you very much.
It's all well and good where you are too. Okay, we're just talking about the political situation in Kogi State. Natasha was with her constituents, and we saw a good number of in Kogi Central joining her. Does that show overwhelming support? Does that also debunk the so-called recall process being set up to accepted by INEC, where she has accused them of being complicit?
As a matter of fact, the video we all seen today of her home is not new with Nigerian politics. We have situations severally where people gather crowds. Everybody is hungry today. Anyway, you're going to be sharing a little sum of 1,000 naira. The crowd will go. If the opposition also call for another show of crowd, so they wouldn't feel you see look very well. Will also be there. So that is not enough for anyone to say that. Therefore, that debunks the existing INEC process. I don't think so. That's not I don't justify anything.
Look at what about Akpoti? It seems like everything that's been done to make her look bad, she has continued to somehow find a way to make herself popular. And how long is she going to continue this fight? And how long do you think? Do you think she's going to win at the end of the day? Or do you think the opposition will continue to make sure she gets frustrated and might likely drop out in the fight again? And the supposed the ex governor of Kogi State, and it looks like even the current governor is also on the side of those who want her out by all means.
Say this matter is I don't even know who is advising her.
Okay.
Because she's on a very long voyage. I believe that all this hullabaloo will just end in futility. This is not the first time. You see, the issue of sexual harassment is one difficult thing to prove. We can see the case of during the time of Donald Trump. You know, at the end of the day, after several situations of sexual harassment and the rest of it all, at the end of the day, nothing happened. He still found his way to the highest seats of presidents of America. All those things could not stop him. And also, that is in history, we've seen a lot of scenarios where these issues happen in love, sexual harassment, and the wife stood by the husband. So if Akpoti understood this, the politics and the proof of sexual harassment very well, that even in any law court that's as advanced as American court system, it's very difficult for anyone to prove that. She should have found a way at this point in time to resolve her issues with her colleagues. I recall, I was it in 2018 or thereabouts, that's Justice Brett of the United States, who was supposed to be sworn in as I think that was the Supreme Court judiciary or something. There was also sexual harassment, which he faced the Judiciary Committee. At the end of the day, he came out successful, and he was still confirmed as a Supreme Court justice. So when you look at history, you understand that the lady may have taken up a bold step. As a matter of fact, like the area where people like us were kind of concerned about what she's going through is the area of the women, the women, the place of the women in our society. You understand that women are actually not there politically. So we are trying to see those who are really concerned should be concerned about having more women participation. But most of these issues, all these scandals surrounding it, often discourages so many of them from participating. Even so many young ladies, when you tell them such kind of discipline, some kind of roles, some kind of positions, some kind of they are running away from it because of the way a lot of people perceive women in this in Africa generally and Nigeria as a whole.
What does this say about our politicians, most especially in this dispensation? In time past, more to be part of politics. But with the body language of the Senate and in the circle of power, how have they encouraged women with the way they've handled Natasha's situation?
As a matter of fact, you see, the situation in the Senate, I do not see any wrong in what the Senate did. There are a lot of lapses on the side. For instance, there were information that she signed the petition that she submitted, as she's a lawyer, and issues surrounding the manner she presented her case, she also should understand that somebody is in charge. There is a charge of that chambers, and that person has the right to caution you of things you didn't do right. So this is not a question of a lady.
But the way the Senate is set up, were you going to see a situation where Natasha will be heard and her case will be taken seriously? Because we are just looking at Natasha as a situation. What happened to Ringim when he pointed out that the budget was padded? What happened to him? He was suspended for a while. Let's also take a look at the chief whip. Let's not forget him, Ndume. When he tried to criticize the government, saying that people are going through a lot and so on and so forth, he was stripped off his position as the chief whip. And we are just alienating just Natasha now because she has accused the Senate president of sexual harassment. Well, let's look at dissenting voices in the Senate, how they've been treated and handled. And not only Natasha.
Whose lies with whoever accused to prove. So if any of alleged one thing or the other and they are unable to prove a case, certainly the law has its own course in force information.
What is there to prove? Ndume said a lot of Nigerians are going through a law that the president should heed and do something about it. Is there anything to prove with that? Or maybe are you buying fuel for 200 naira per liter? Because
I'm not.
Okay.
But right. One thing I want you to understand is that why did Ndume wait for so long to speak under this government?
We all know that he is part of the APC. He's a big member. Of course, he's a big fish. You don't expect him to start complaining within a year into a new president's tenure.
Thus making it one of the largest leather shoemaking markets in West Africa. With an estimate.
Just one of those is. And would you.
Well, what I'm saying here is that there is something you will know that is ill-intended. Okay. When somebody is making a mischief, it's different from honest opinion. But where was the voice of Ndume in the last 8 years before this administration came in?
All right.
What did he not see the way Nigeria was run? Let us forget that all of us are APC. That's the abilities of actions and inactions of the consequences of the previous administration, and he says, "Don't pity me because I'm going to face it." And he's taking the tough decisions. So this is the time Ndume and many of them now understand that they can speak out at governments, and all the while there was borrowing and disruption of our economy in the last administration, there was no Ndume to voice out. You see, people should not be selective of what they say to the people because they know that Nigerians are most of Nigerians are vulnerable, and we just buy into anything.
All right,
and that is just it.
Prince Nielsen, are you saying as an APC member, what is going on in the Senate is actually what's supposed to?
As a matter of fact, Nigeria democracy is nascent, is a process, is progressive, and it's progressing. So one thing we must not expect, check how many years America is. There was a point in time in America that they have to come back to their constitution and sit down to discuss it, that what brought America to where they are today. Nigeria hasn't even gotten to that point. We have not even looked at it. We are still enjoying what the military. This is the first time somebody can constitution and stand firm to address certain imbalances and constitutional and institutional failures. And that's the first time we are seeing somebody attacking the economy. So it is a process. It's progressive, and we are witnessing some level of doing things differently. First time in history. When you look at the economic approach of this administration, all the successive government, what have they been doing to the economy? They fix a dollar rate, they reduce subsidy. It's just patching the economy, and it has never been well. But somebody comes to say, those things that are impossible, I'm going to make them possible. Let us cry once and get well. And it's a bitter pill to swallow. We understand where we are coming from. And if
Prince Nielsen, how do you patch the economy and to make sure that we cry? But the rich in the politicians are not crying. It's only the citizens are crying. Or Prince, are you also are you crying, or because are you crying telling us that things are going well, the process is working, things are being done differently? We have to wait for our democracy to be 100 years for us to benefit from the democracy.
Not at all. We don't need to wait for the 100 years.
Okay.
But I want to tell you, since 1999 till date, this is the first time we are approaching our economy differently. The same thing has been done from Obasanjo to President Buhari.
And our debt is getting worse every day. We won't forget when. Let's not forget when Obama power, our debt profile was almost at the barest minimum.
Where did you get your facts from? That this administration have been able to pay even up to 40% since this administration came in. We if I'm not reading from maybe one junk journalist somewhere.
Not about reading from one junk journalist. Fine, you are paying, but what you are also borrowing, does it tally in terms of the fact that this economy is going to recover and get better in the nearest future? Let's just be honest with ourselves, because economics is not my thing. But with the little we've seen so far, so good. Yes, you are paying 40% of. What about what you're also still paying in spite of that?
As a matter of fact, there has to be an attempt to show up what is missing. So we have to run the government.
Definitely.
When the inflows are not meeting up with what the budgets are, there is a budget deficit. Government will also borrow. They have to meet up with their daily. The government will not shut down because of the fact that they don't want to borrow. The government business must go on. And when you look at this, we look at this borrowing. Where are they putting the money? They are all in capital projects. They are not borrowing for like what happened in the previous administration.
But the better roads, the politicians are smiling more. They are buying cars.
You have been I don't know if you are even maybe you belong to the opposition party.
No, I'm a journalist. I'm looking at it.
But you're economical with the truth here.
What more roads have been constructed so far?
I tell you? When you look at under 2 years, the Lagos Calabar road is under construction. When you look at what is happening on the I don't know if you've been to Abuja recently. There is virtually no place in Abuja now that the road is not connected. Infrastructures that are going on in this economy present, and the government is living up to that. So why don't you look at them?
Mr. Anosuke may have something to say, because now you are telling me a lot of all these beautiful words of project. And in time past, when governors do this project, at least Nyesom Wike was governor of Rivers State, was always showing us project that has been constructed. I don't know whether you do projects and hide them, the videos, or you hide it from the public to see, so that the world will know that want the world to know what you're actually doing with the funds you've been given. Mr. Anderson.
I want to start by setting the record straight.
Okay.
In economics, Tinubu is the worst we've had in this country. He is the worst we've had in this country. Ndume was suspended in 2017, senator, for criticizing Buhari's government. Ndume was suspended. In America, America have a different constitution with Nigeria. In America, you can rule from prison. So Donald Trump was found guilty of the 34 that he faced. So if he's in Nigeria, he would not have contested the election. Bill Clinton was impeached by the Congress because of what he did. So I'm setting the record straight. So saying that it's not easy to prove sexual harassment. Donald Trump was found guilty for the hush money that he paid. He was found guilty by the court in New York. Bill Clinton was impeached by the Congress, but the Senate saved him. That was able to complete his terms in office. Then our Senate is a secret court. It's a secret court. That's why I told you even before that nothing will come out of this, because this is the worst Senate that we've ever had in this country. The 10th Senate is the worst, the most corrupt Senate that we've had in this country. So in the Senate, Natasha will not get her way. But in the conscience of the people, they know that she's right. In the conscience of the people, she is fighting a just cause. In the conscience of the people, she is right, she is fighting a just cause. And the video we saw today showed that her people are with her. Bendo was a governor in 2023 when Natasha emerged. Understand me? He was a governor when Natasha emerged. He did everything to frustrate her. At the end of the day, because her people was with her, she emerged. And what they're doing is expected, because most of them are guilty of what is being accused. Most of them are guilty of what AKPABIO is being accused. And AKPABIO has the antecedents of such thing. Remember the MD of NDDC. Remember the Nollywood. I think we also called it. So hiding all the truth does not make sense. And that Femi Adesina said it in 2016.
President Nixon also made mention that governors have more spend now. They are doing more projects.
What's the value? What is the value that you are giving a 2 trillion naira every month? What's the value of a 2 trillion? He has messed up our what Babangida did with the structural adjustment program is what this man did, messing up our currency. So saying that they are getting more the value of the money, that's the question. What can that money buy in the market today? Since I was born, I've never had as worse as Tinubu own. I was thinking that Buhari, the worst, coming from the barracks. But Tinubu is a huge disappointment.
All right, Prince Nielsen, taking a look at it, let's now go to Rivers State, where the governor has urged his supporters to remain patient and avoid actions in the situation. He emphasized the importance of faith and restraint, warning against being provoked into violence by those seeking to mine the state's stability. Going to you, Prince Nixon, taking a look at Fubara's situation. If you were Fubara, what would be going through your mind? Looking at the time his suspension is going to elapse, what should he be doing now? Now he's saying that his people should remain calm, should avoid violence and so on. Is he showing good faith that this is going to end in his favor, of him, in the favor of him returning as governor of the state?
I think Fubara is appreciative of the president saving the situation for states. You see, one thing, President Tinubu, or you hate him, if you look at the way my friend Peter Anosike was speaking, you know that this is somebody who never liked the administrations, because he was fair by saying it's the worst. I could count more than 15 roads, major roads that are linked together that are under construction. Very administration. But going to what you're saying, I know that Governor Fubara will be so appreciative of what the president did. That's the gospel truth. Because when you look at our president, he's somebody I know that he's always proactive on issues. One is this: people may not have seen the
All right.
all the security reports to himself. He knows what was coming up in front. He knows what could happen. So he does not need to allow things to go bad. You know, Nigeria, we like a bad situation before we take steps. I give you an instance. You look at sometimes in some parts of Lagos State where you see trailer load and trucks parked side by side. Nobody remembers to do the needful until maybe there is a fire outbreak or something. That is when people will not react. That is when we will react on such issues. But for instance, is a person we know that he is proactive in anything. He wouldn't want it. So people might not be seeing what he's seeing. But I know that by now, Fubara would have understood it, that if President didn't do what he did, he would have still lost his seats, lives would have been lost, and he could not have enjoyed the securities if he loses his seat in the manner it could have happened. So I were in his shoes, I would be happy that it happened. Then take this as a moment of solitude. Go back and think over what he didn't do very well, the things he didn't do, and if he has a chance to, what he would do differently. That
Is
is
that
it.
if he has a chance, or you don't see?
As a matter of fact, if what is happening, you just imagine talking about the economy and people are blowing up the pipelines. If those things persist, do you think the president will fold the hands, allow the economy that is even go down to beyond repair? He will not.
But he has
So
just
what
said
I'm
that the
trying-
pipelines people should not go into a violent situation. It means that he's calling for peace and decorum.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So he would have seen it that expensive that piece is better than the cheapest kind of war. For him now, it should be a moment of solitude. He should think and reminisce over what he didn't do and the things he did that brought us to here. You see, politics is politics and not a religious gathering. So it's not one organization.
All right. Okay, we are pressed for time. We understand that filling stations in Lagos have increased fuel by 17 naira, from 816 naira to 913 naira per liter. This looks like this. I don't know what's going on, because Dangote has halted at the sale of. Is it that the NNPC is not planned? They don't make plans. They don't look at future plans.
I want that with Tinubu's so-called mosaic actions.
Okay.
In 2004, when Obasanjo declared state of emergency and removed Joshua Dariye and appointed General Chris Ande, Tinubu criticized it. Tinubu called it a derail in democracy. In 2013, when Jonathan declared state of emergency in 3 states in the northeast, Tinubu again criticized it. Understand me?
Okay.
So what he was seeing then, no more seeing it. So the issue is, this is a war, or the war in downstream sector benefit or the country in the long run. Understand? Some people want to continue benefiting from the subsidy. Understand? So it will continue that to happen until the time or there will be stability.
All right, we are pressed for time. We just have to go. Unfortunately, Prince Nixon did not join us on time, but I must say that we quite a bit enjoyed his time on the show. It's been great having you on the issues this evening.
It's nice having this time with you, and I look forward to more opportunities for us to discuss.
Don't worry, we always call upon you. Don't worry, it's a promise.
Yes, because it's obvious that most of you people are not well informed about.
And that is why we'll have you. That is why we have you, Prince.
Yes,
Nixon,
a lot of good
that.
jobs Mr. President is doing.
Okay.
So I think we need to be having more of this discussion so that we enlighten, like my friend Peter, who I believe that does not appreciate the effort of Mr. President. So he needs more of this kind of program so that he can be enlightened more on what we are doing positively to affect him positively and his family.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nixon.
I appreciate it.
All right, and of course, Mr. Noski, you heard from him. Anyway, we'll wait for that time to come. All right, that's a wrap for tonight's episode of the Issues and Voice of the People TV. And of course, we hope you enjoyed the show. Remember, your voice matters. Stay involved and keep the conversation going. I am Jerry AKPABIO, and this has been the Issues and Voice of the People TV. Good night, Nigeria.
My name is Promise Nkwachukwu Kalu. Well, I'm from Abia State, Bende local government, Item, to be precise. I'm Item. Well, it has always been my joy to do music technology. When I talk about music technology, the aspect of repairing, sound installation, and sound programming, and also singing. As early as 8 years old, I joined the choir in the church to enable me enhance my voice and do more when it comes to the music aspect. Like I do the secular music, I do the classical music, and I also do when you come about the spiritual gospel music. So I'm working as a sound engineer in Iroka Online Limited, a company where I want to grow more into technicalities. When I talk about technicalities, I'm talking about doing repairs, doing installation in churches, in lounge, in mosques, in anywhere that requires me going to install, I will ever install. Audio installation is a thing of joy because for me it's all about working with passion. Now when you talk about audio generally, it has to do with the implementation of a gadget, mixer, the amplifiers, and the speaker management, installing, having to climb the roof. And it's not easy because most times being scared of falling, and a situation whereby the ceiling of where you're installing is not firm, you can be endangering your life. So it's something that we are very, very careful, but we work with perfection, and everything I do by the grace of God is 100% perfect. For a layman, the first thing you need to know to become an audio engineer is music. I studied music in school, then I went into the technicalities of music. For you to become an engineer, you must know what sound is basically. So sound, which is a practical thing, you must have the ears to identify good sound. And if you are capable and able to identify good sound, that means you can as well tag yourself an upcoming audio engineer, because that's a basic point for you to start from. When it comes to my profession, I put a limit to it in terms of working duration. Like for each day, I map out time and say, this is what I want to achieve. This is what I want to get done today, and make sure it doesn't collide with going out with the family, going out to, with my wife, and also enjoying myself, because work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. And that's where I could make promise a dull boy also. So I make sure combine both of them. One isn't taking the other one's time. Most times, as an engineer, audio engineer, we get most of our perfect sound during night, where you have most people asleep already, because you need the calmness of everywhere, any particular place you are, and you need to concentrate, because wherever you are that you're mixing, especially when you come into the live mixing and you start getting any little noise, it's very what you're doing, because if your ear is not well trained, I think you'll be battling with more than one problem, because unable to identify that. So the night is very, very precious, and it's not easy installing sound in Lagos and doing the mixing and mastering when it comes to the audio production part of it. There are a lot of guys, there are a lot of professionals who are yet to be recognized in this industry. For the ones who are there now, I would say they are doing fine, but there's always room for improvement, because when you talk about what they are doing, for every movie I watch, for every music video I watch, the first thing I put into consideration is the sound. I listen to the sound, I talk more about the production, I venture myself into categorizing every aspect of it, what is not properly done there, because I love criticizing things a lot. So the more you criticize, the more you have room to improve, and you see possibility of doing it in a better way.